Hello everyone, I am Dr. K. Annapurna, Associate Professor of ECE Department, VFSTR deemed to be University, Vadlamudi. Our today's topic is regulators. So what is regulator and what are the different types of regulators and what are the applications of regulators we will see. And the main objective of this class is to make you familiarize with the concept of regulators, and by the end of this lecture you will able to answer what is regulator, what are the different types of regulators, and what are the applications of regulators, what is the difference between fixed voltage regulators and variable voltage regulators, and which ICs gives positive fixed output voltage and which ICs gives negative fixed output voltage. And all of you know the regulated power supply, what you have used in your laboratory experiments, CDC lab, ECA lab, okay. So in LICA lab also you are using. So it is also called linear mode power supply. The main elements of that are step down transformer, bridge rectifier, filter and regulator, okay. So the last component is regulator, and before going to the function of regulator, briefly let us discuss what is the function of each and every block. Okay, step down transformer means it diminishes the magnitude of the input. Actual input is 230 volts AC supply we are getting, and it will be reduced to the required voltage level. So the step down transformer gives the reduced amplitude signal, okay. And next, what is the function of rectifier? So rectifier rectifies the signal, because this signal is completely AC signal and rectifier tries to convert into DC. So in that process, so it converts the bidirectional signal into the unidirectional signal. If you see, the input of rectifier is having both positive and negative half cycles, whereas output is having only positive half cycles. If you take the average of this signal, it is not 0, but if you take the average of this input sign, it is 0. So average is nothing but DC signal. And next, filter. So here the output of rectifier is having both AC and DC, okay. So AC means it is continuously varying with respect to time, that means it is having AC components, and it is having an average value, that means it is having DC value, but our objective is to make it completely DC. So this filter is used to filter out the AC components. So the AC components present in the output of rectifier are called ripples. So to filter out the ripples we use filter circuit. So now compared to here the AC signal is very less, okay, and DC is increased and AC got reduced. And then what is the function of regulator? This regulator will cancel out these ripples also, and it maintains constant output voltage irrespective of supply variations and load variations, okay. So the regulator is a regulator is used to maintain constant output irrespective of supply variations and load variations. Okay, irrespective of supply variations and load variations. And now, so this is the definition, which is used to maintain constant output voltage irrespective of supply variation and load variation. And what are its applications? In our cell phone chargers, laptop chargers, and then in our labs almost all electronic components use this, and for AC, TV, fridge we use regulators, right? So these are the applications. And coming to the classification of regulators, there are basically two types, linear and non-linear. Linear means in which the transistor is operating in active region or linear region, and non-linear means where the transistor is operated as switch. So it is non-linear. And again in linear we are having two types, fixed voltage and variable voltage. Okay, in fixed voltage we are going to study these two types, 7/8 series and 7/9 series. Similarly, variable voltage regulator, the general purpose regulator 723. So in our syllabus we are having linear regulators. Okay, so we are going to study these three regulators. And now let us see the working of linear regulator. And in linear again we are having two types, series and shunt. This is series regulator. Okay, so this is used in our ICs. So if you see this circuit diagram, suppose for any reason V0 increases. Any reason means maybe because of supply variation or because of load variation or any other effect. If V0 increases, so what is its function? It has to maintain the constant. So if V0 increases, what happens? Beta V0 also increases. So beta V0 means this one, VR3. So VR3 also increases. What is the relation between VR3 and V0? So VR3 is equal to V0 into, so this is potentiometer, this second part is R3 and the first part is R2. So VR3 by V0 into R3 by R2 plus R3. Okay, so VR3 also increases, and this VR3 is called beta V0. So it is increasing means, what is this V0 dash? So V0 dash, here the operational amplifier is operating in open loop configuration, so it takes the difference and it amplifies. So the difference means V reference minus beta V0. So VR3 is nothing but beta V0. Okay. So what happens if beta V0 increases means V0 dash will decrease because reference is maintained constant. Okay, this reference voltage is taken from GNR regulator. GNR voltage under reverse breakdown condition, it will give us constant voltage. So that is our reference. And now with respect to reference, here beta V0 got increased. So beta V0 increased means automatically V0 dash will decrease. V0 dash will decrease. And then what happens? So this is supplying activation to the series transistor. So its output voltage V0 dash decreases means the conduction of this series transistor decreases. So conduction decreases means what happens to its emitter current? So conduction of Q1 decreases. This implies IE decreases, so IL decreases. So IL decreases means what happens to V0? Decreases. If load current decreases, what is the relation? V0 is equal to IL into RN. So if IL decreases, V0 decreases, right? Similarly, if V0 decreases for any reason, so the vice versa action takes place. That means if V0 decreases, beta times V0 also decreases. So if this voltage decreases means what happens to this difference? It will increase. That is V0 dash will increase. So conduction of Q1 will increase. So IE will increase, so it will increase, IL will increase, and V0 will increase. So here initially it is decreased because of some reason, so it will compensate that decrease by increasing V0. So finally it maintains constant output voltage. Okay, now let us see the characteristics of fixed voltage regulators. Okay, so it provides us constant output voltage. So the unregulated input voltage must be at least 2 volts greater than the required regulated output. Suppose we are interested in 5 volts output, means we have to give at least 7 volts input. And next, the current may vary from 0 to IL max, and we use heat sinks to overcome the problem of thermal problems. And thermal shutdown, that is, if temperature increases, then what happens? Automatically it will reduce its current, and after it gets cooled down, then only it will operate in normal condition. So that is called thermal shutdown. So ICs will have inbuilt temperature sensor. When they sense very high temperatures, then they will reduce their current, and after the IC got cooled, then only they will operate in normal mode, so that IC will be protected. And next, few more points about the fixed voltage regulators. So we are having LM100 series, 200 series and 300 series. For example, if you take LM100 series, will operate from -55 to 125 degrees centigrade, and whereas LM200 series operates in -25 to +85 degrees centigrade, and LM300 series operates from 0 to 70 degrees centigrade range. And these fixed voltage regulators are available in 2 packages. The first one is TO3 package, so it is looking like this, and TO220 package, so it will be like that. Now let us see the fixed voltage regulator 7/8 series. Okay, so 7/8 series means they are positive fixed voltage. For example, it is providing 5, 6, 8, 12, 15, 18 and 24. That means if that regulator is 7808 means it will give us +8 volts. So the starting 78 number is there, means it is indicating it is positive fixed voltage regulator, and the last 2 digits are indicating the value of output, regulator output. Okay, and the standard representation of 7/8 series is like this, and here input is applying, here we are taking the output, and it is having 2 capacitors. One is input side and the other one is output side. The input capacitor is used to reduce the inductive effects. Okay, and the output side capacitor is used to improve the transient response. Similarly, 7/9 series, here the starting numbers are 7/9 means it is negative fixed voltage regulator. Starting numbers are 7/8 means positive fixed voltage, 7/9 means negative fixed voltage regulators. So they will give us negative fixed voltage, and here there are 9 possibilities, whereas in 7/8 series we have 7 possibilities. So in addition to that, we are having 2 more options. Options are -2, -5, -5.2, -6, -8, -12, -15, -18 and -24 volts. And the standard representation of 7/9 series is this. Here also input we are applying here, output we are taking here. They are having only 3 terminals, that's why they are also called 3-terminal IC regulators. Okay, and here input capacitor is used to reduce the inductive effects, and output capacitor is used to improve the transient response. Now what are the parameters? So parameters means that regulator, how good it is, that is performance metrics. So to indicate the performance of regulators, mainly we use these three parameters. The first one is line or input regulation. That means how output voltage is maintaining constant with respect to the line voltage variations. That is dV0 by dVi. Okay, it should be minimum, and for 7805 it is 3 millivolts. And next, load regulation. So load regulation means even there is change in load resistance or load current, there should not be any change in output voltage. So how it is maintaining that load voltage constant? So here V no load minus V full load by V full load. This is the formula to find the load regulation, and for 7805 it is 15 millivolts. And next, ripple rejection ratio. So it is indicating how better it is rejecting the ripples present in the input. Okay, so it is represented as the ratio of input ripples to the output ripples. Okay, so how its value should be, high or low? Its value should be high, indicating input is having more ripples compared to output. And for 7805 its value is 78 decibels. So it is given in decibels means converting into 20 log. 20 log of ripples present in input by ripples present in output. Now let us see how fixed voltage regulator can be used as current source. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram. Already you have seen that 7/8 series. So all these parts are there. Now what is IL? IL is equal to IR plus IQ. Right? What is IR? IR means current flowing through the top resistor R. What is the voltage across it? It is the output voltage or reference voltage, right? So VR by R plus IQ. So IQ is the quiescent current which is flowing from the ground, and it is very small current. So you can neglect this current, very small. It is in the order of milliamperes. Okay. So this is approximately equal to VR by R. So by setting proper value of R, we can produce the load currents, required load current. Okay. So in this way the fixed voltage regulator can be used as current source. And next one, the fixed voltage regulator is having current boosting, output current boosting. That is, it is able to increase the output current. So see here, when normal load current is, so here if you apply KCL at this point, I is equal to IQ plus I naught. So we know IQ is very small value. So II is approximately equal to I naught, right? And here if you apply KCL at this node, so IR1 plus IB is equal to II, right? So here IB is very small, so IR1 is approximately equal to II, and that is approximately equal to I naught. Okay, in the normal conditions that transistor is in off condition. Okay, but when current exceeds some limit, what happens? When load current exceeds some limit, so initially the transistor is in off condition, means its collector current is 0, so I naught and IL are also same, right? Now when load current increases sufficiently, then what happens? IR1 also increases and the drop across R1 will increase. When IL increases, drop across VR1 increases. Drop across R1 will increase. So what happens? It is the emitter base voltage of the transistor. So when it reaches 0.7 volts, when it reaches 0.7 volts, transistor conducts. Q1 okay. So Q1 conducts means what happens? What is IC? IC is beta times IB. Beta also very high value. Okay, beta times IB. Now what is IL? IL is equal to I naught plus IC. Initially IC was not there, but now IC a very high value is added. So in this way the load current will be boosted. And next one is dual voltage regulator. Okay, for example, if we take the operational amplifier, to operate the operational amplifier we need two power supplies, plus supply and minus supply, to produce outputs. That is, to activate it we need to give two power supplies, one is positive, one is negative. So this circuit will provide us both positive and negative simultaneously. Okay, here we are using 7815 which will give us plus 15 and 7915 which will give us minus 15. The advantage of this connection is we can get high currents because heat sinks will be provided, so the circuit will not be damaged, and a wide variety of voltages can be obtained. But the problems with fixed voltage regulators are, they will provide us fixed voltage. That is, if you purchase 7805 IC means always it gives 5 volts. If you want 6, it won't give. Okay. So that is the problem. And next one, they are not having short circuit protection. That is, for any reason if load resistor becomes short, then very high currents flows and it will damage the IC. So there is no protection against the short circuits. So next we will go to general purpose regulator, which is variable regulator IC723. Okay, it will overcome the limitations of fixed voltage regulator because its output is not a fixed voltage. And next one, it can provide load currents up to 10 amperes, okay, with addition of external circuitry. And the functional diagram is like this. It is having basically two functional blocks. In the first functional blocks there is a GNR diode, and this is constant current source. This constant current source is used to reverse bias the GNR diode and to make it operate in reverse breakdown condition. So when GNR diode is operating in reverse breakdown, it will give us constant output voltage, and which we are using it as reference voltage. And here, so one of the inputs will be given with reference, the other input will be given with part of output or output, and this error amplifier will compare these two and it will activate the transistor Q1 accordingly, and to finally its aim is to reduce the error. Okay, and this 723 general purpose regulator is available in two packages, dual inline package 14 pin and metal can package in 10 pins. Okay, these are the pin numbers. And this 723 regulator can be used as low voltage regulator as well as high voltage regulator. For low voltage regulator, the connections will be slightly different from the regulator for high voltage. Okay, so these are the connections for low voltage regulator. So low voltage regulator here, inverting pin is supplied with what voltage? Inverting pin is given directly V0. So V0 is applied to the inverting pin, and non-inverting pin is supplied with So see here, non-inverting, part of reference is given. Okay, so no current is flowing into the non-inverting means these two are in series, and drop across this R2 is applying to the non-inverting pin. That means non-inverting is supplied with V reference into R2 by R1 plus R2, right? So now the error amplifier will compare these two, and finally the transistor conducts in such a manner, finally the error amplifier output should be 0. Okay, so error amplifier output 0 means these two should be equal. That means V0 is equal to V reference into R2 by R1 plus R2. And here generally the reference is some 7.15 volts. Okay, so based on R2 and R1 values, we can get the voltages from 2 to 7. So this regulator can be used to give constant DC output for voltages 2 to 7 volts. Already we have discussed the series regulator, right? Here what is this operational amplifier? This error signal is activating the transistor. So suppose V0 increases means this value decreases and the conduction of transistor decreases, and finally it decreases the V0. So next time what happens, V0 decreases means the error will be changed. In such a manner it is becoming, time to time it is decreasing error, and finally it should reach 0. Okay. Okay, now let us see the high voltage regulator. So this is the high voltage regulator. Here also we have to find what is the inverting pin input and what is the non-inverting input pin is receiving which voltage, and they should be equated to get the output voltage. So here non-inverting is directly given with reference. If you observe, non-inverting is directly given to the reference voltage. Even though there is resistor, there won't be any drop because there is no current flowing into the non-inverting or inverting terminals. Oh, so no drop means it is like short. Okay, and inverting. So inverting pin is supplied with what voltage? See here, it is part of V0. So here from V0 there is a potential divider, and we are applying from here. That means V0 into R2 by R1 plus R2. From this point means from this point to ground it is nothing but drop across R2, and R1 and R2 are connected in series. So inverting pin is supplied with V0 into R2 by R1 plus R2, right? So now if you equate these two, because the error amplifier function is, it activates the series pass transistor such that its error becomes 0. So error when it becomes 0, when these two are same. So V reference is equal to V0 into R2 by R1 plus R2. This implies V0 is equal to V reference into R1 plus R2 by R2. So from this what is V0? So V0 is equal to V reference into R2 by R2 means it is 1 plus R1 by R2. So here by taking different values of R1 and R2, we can have values of V0 more than V reference, because it is 1 plus times means more than V reference, and we can change up to 37 volts from 7 volts. We can vary from 7 to 37 volts. And in the functional diagram you have seen this CL, CS and Q2. So now let us see what is the function of it. Okay, so already all the remaining blocks are covered. So this current source is to bias the GNOR diode such a manner in the reverse breakdown region. So finally it will give us constant DC voltage 7.15 volts as reference. Now, so inverting and non-inverting, one with reference and other with V0 or part of V0, they will be supplied, and the error amplifier will give the difference between inverting and non-inverting, and this error signal will activate this transistor, and based on the activation of transistor the output voltage will be controlled. But till now we didn't discuss about this. So the main function of those two is to limit the load current when there is very high currents. So whenever there are very high currents, we have to do some protection mechanism, otherwise the IC will be burnt, because it is not having inbuilt protection mechanism. So there are two protection mechanisms. The first one is current limit protection. So in current limit protection, what happens? Okay, when load current is increased, okay, for any reason, suppose load current increases means the drop across this resistor will increase. Voltage drop across RCL will increase. So it is nothing but the base emitter voltage of Q2. So whenever this drop exceeds 0.7 volts, then what happens? This transistor starts conducting and reaches, so whenever that drop reaches 0.7 volts, Q2 conducts. So when Q2 conducts, what happens? When Q2 conducts means it draws current. Previously when it is not in conduction state, no current, but now it is drawing current in the order of milliamperes. Now what happens? The base current will decrease. The base current of first transistor will decrease. So what happens? This base current decreases means emitter current decreases and load current decreases. So when the load current exceeds some limit, automatically the current will be decreased to a minimum value and output voltage becomes 0. So in this way it will protect the device. And the next one is fold back current limiting. So in fold back current limiting, if RL decreases, short circuit means when RL becomes 0. Suppose RL decreases, what happens? If RL decreases, VL decreases. So VL decreases means the drop across R3 will decrease. If drop across R3 decreases, what happens? This VBE. So VBE of third transistor is equal to VCL minus VR3. So VR3 decreases means VBE3 will increase. That means this transistor will enter into the on condition. So Q3 becomes on. So if Q3 becomes on, what happens? It takes more current because it is its collector, and for Q1 it is its base. So collector current is more compared to base. So here the current, base current of first transistor will decrease. If base current of first transistor decreases, automatically base current of second transistor decreases and hence load current will decrease. So here load current, this process repeated until the load current becomes 0. Okay. So in this way it avoids the short circuit conditions. First it is maintaining constant, but whenever it is exceeding this IL, it is folding back. That is this IL becoming 0. Because that process is continuously repeating and finally it becomes 0. So this is about the regulators. Now let us recap what we have discussed in this class. What is regulator? So regulator is an electronic circuit which is used to maintain constant output voltage irrespective of supply variations and load variations. What are the performance metrics of regulator? What are the performance metrics? Line regulation, load regulation and ripple rejection ratio. What is line regulation? dV0 by dVi. That is how the output voltage is maintaining constant or how output voltage is changing with respect to input voltage changes. It should be minimum. And next, load voltage regulation means how the output voltage is varying with respect to the load currents. And to find, it is V no load minus V full load by V full load. That is, even no load or full load, it should give us same value. So ideally it should be 0. But practically we will get small values. And next one is ripple rejection ratio. So ripple rejection ratio means how much able to reject the ripples. And it is defined as the ratio of input ripples by output ripples. So its value should be high because input ripples is in the numerator, so its value should be high, and generally it is used to tell in decibels. That is, this ratio will be converted into logarithmic scale, 20 log of this. And next, what is the difference between fixed voltage and variable voltage regulators? In fixed voltage regulator, the output voltage will be fixed. Suppose if you purchase 7805 means it always gives us plus 5 volts only. If we need plus 6, we can't use it, right? Whereas variable voltage regulator means we can make use of different voltages. For example, if you take 723 regulator, it can be operating from 2 to 37 volts. Okay, so that is the advantage of general purpose regulator or variable voltage regulator. What are the applications of regulator? So what are the applications? In our laptop chargers, mobile chargers, for AC, TV, fridge, and in all electronic circuits we need regulators because all electronic equipment is operating with DC supply. So to convert from AC to DC, we have seen the block diagram. First step down transformer, next rectifier, next filter, next regulator. So what is the task of that regulator? To maintain constant output and to reject the ripples. What are the current limit protection mechanisms available in 723? The first one is current limit protection and second one is current fallback. That is, whenever the load current reaches some maximum limit, automatically it take it to very low values or 0 values. Does 723 has built-in thermal protection? No. Does 723 has built-in short circuit protection? No. But 723 has many advantages over the fixed voltage regulators. Okay, in fixed voltage regulator we are having thermal protection, inbuilt protection. In 723, even though we are not having short circuit inbuilt protection, with the help of these two mechanisms, that is current limit mechanisms, we can able to save the device. Okay, and these are your assignment questions and these are the references. I hope you understand the lecture. Thank you.